carnage on Britain's roads.
They've just had a road traffic collision.
Danger around every corner.
There are significant injuries. There's patient breathing.
Motorcyclist versus car. He was hit from behind.
Every 16 minutes, someone is killed or injured.
Stay with me. Look at me.
When you get behind the wheel,
Hello, Helen, 53.
your life is in your hands.
Can I put a trauma alert to Rhesus coming by air?
And if things go wrong,
Steady, lift.
elite trauma teams pick up the pieces. University Hospital Coventry tackles some of the most extreme cases in the country.
What's happened?
You're in hospital.
Last thing I can see was a tractor and I ploughed into it. I don't remember what happened.
2 cars ended up on its roof.
From crash scene
Where's it hurting?
All down my side.
to A&E,
Until we get a CT scan, I need you to stay nice and still.
Patients can die from this.
and emergency surgery.
This may not be a reconstructible injury. She could lose her hand.
If we can't stop him bleeding, he won't survive. I honestly thought he was dying.
We follow the medics battling to save the lives of casualties.
Oh, my life!
Injured on Britain's deadly roads.
You never think it's going to be your kids.
Tonight, a mountain biker plunges 30 feet.
37-year-old David lost control of his mountain bike, hit the ground, sustained multiple injuries.
A high-speed collision sees a woman cut from the wreckage.
2 drivers were seriously injured in a head-on crash.
But I'm not gonna die.
And a suspected hit-and-run leaves the victim fighting for his life.
Can you get some unit of blood out of the fridge, please?
Swap that across. X-ray there.
If we can't stop him bleeding, he won't survive.
An extra travel bulletin for you this evening. A reminder that the A6 Rothwell-Desborough bypass is closed due to a crash near junction 3 of the A14. Emergency services are on the scene trying to get everything moving again.
All we know at the moment is a 64-year-old is coming in with a high-speed RTC. We're suspecting chest and neck injuries.
Police are appealing for witnesses after 2 drivers were seriously injured in a head-on crash on the A6 Rothwell-Desborough bypass.
Elderly patients, they susceptible to more injuries. Things can change dramatically in a matter of seconds.
Female, 64. High-speed collision.
So this is Pauline. At 4 o'clock, she was involved driving a head-on collision on a rural road, probably 50-60 miles an hour. The other car doing the same thing. She had a slow time extrication with the fire service. She's been GCS 15 throughout. She's got a little bit of mid-C-spine pain. She's got a left chest injury.
What happens to the body when 2 cars collide? As the vehicle's speed combines, the force of impact doubles, causing potential catastrophic effects on the human body. The sudden halt can propel the brain against the skull, causing swelling or even long-term brain damage. The heart and lungs can also suffer as they collide with the chest wall, leading to possible life-changing injuries. If you are in a head-on collision and not wearing a seatbelt, you are twice as likely to die as a result.
So we're going to have a quick listen to your chest, okay? Big breaths. Reduced iron entry on the left side. Any pain here?
Yes.
Tender?
Yes.
Okay. There?
Yeah.
High-speed motor vehicle collisions can be extremely fatal. So imagine a car comes to an immediate sudden stop and the people in the car are still in momentum. They can be crushed. As soon as I hear that, I think of the worst. So there's bruising on the right side of the neck and there's no surgical emphysema on the chest either. main injury is the left side of the chest and this reduced air entries, but we can't say until she's at the trauma scan. CT will give us an idea if there's an injury to the lung, if there's an injury to any of the blood vessels. If there's active bleeding, the surgeons need to get involved immediately.
On Britain's roads, 136,000 casualties every year. 12% of those reported to police are hit and runs. Most remain unsolved, as the driver is never identified. New patient incoming. Male, 26. Thrown from e-scooter. Fighting for his life.
He came in about 5:30 this morning. He was on an e-scooter and we think he was hit by a car. And he's been quite unstable with blood pressure. We think he's lost quite a lot of blood.
So next one is red, 659Y.
In the UK, electric scooter usage has soared, and so have the accidents. Fatalities have increased tenfold in the last 3 years, with speeds up to 80 miles per hour. Only around 7% of riders wear helmets, resulting in almost double the head injuries compared to cyclists. The trend is set to continue, with A&E departments often left to pick up the pieces.
We've done a scan and it shows that he's got some bleeding around his liver and also around his kidneys, and he's broken his pelvis as well.
As the clock ticks, the team battle to replace the patient's extensive blood loss.
So how much does he have now? Blood-wise, so we've got 10 of red, 8 of FFP. They've got 1 platelet, having to blue light platelets over from Birmingham for a second one to match up. All of this is not fitting with him having that lower blood pressure, is it? I have got a very faint one. Yeah, something's not right, is it? Yeah. It doesn't fit.
We've given this patient 10 units of blood. That's the equivalent of a whole body's worth of human blood. His blood pressure is still really low. He's clearly still bleeding from somewhere. So we just need to find out where he's bleeding from.
In order to determine the cause of the blood loss, the patient is sent for a rescan.
We know now that the patient's had some bleeding around the liver and around the kidney. We can't see any signs of active bleeding on the scans, which means that there is more bleeding coming from somewhere. Both the femur and the pelvis can bleed quite a lot, so it may be coming from there, but we shall see. He's going to have an operation on his femur and also on his pelvis, and what that will do is it will reduce the amount of bleeding because the veins at the back of the pelvis will be oozing quite a lot, which is partly why his blood pressure is so low.
With the patient stabilised, he is rushed to surgery in an attempt to stop the blood loss.
The worry is that if we can't stop him bleeding, is that he won't survive.
Coming up, a complex injury takes the surgeons by surprise.
Pull so it aligns when you go across, yeah. Okay, go north a bit, please. X-ray there. That's good.
A 30-foot mountain bike jump renders a man unconscious.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
He's really struggling.
And doctors fear for a patient's life.
The worst case scenario, that air could get bigger and it could end up crushing the lung. This is called a tension pneumothorax, and that could kill the patient.
Oh my God!
UK roads. Danger around every corner. 25,000 people seriously injured every year. For survivors, accidents can be life-changing. Stephen, 26 years old, thrown from his e-scooter in a suspected hit and run. With significant blood loss, he now faces surgery to fix his broken femur and pelvis.
You got a scissors somewhere?
Stephen has had a fair amount of blood transfusion. Despite that, he hasn't responded as well as we would have liked to. The femoral fracture needs to be done urgently. You can have about 1.5 liters of blood into your thigh just from that fracture. The pelvic fracture can also bleed and can be life-threatening.
Right, let's crack on.
First, they must insert a guide wire to help realign the fracture.
So normally with this sort of operation, we would do a nail from the top end. But because of the multiple injuries, we're doing it from the bottom end. Swap that across, show us a lateral. Yeah, that's good.
With the wire inserted, the team manipulates the bone fragments back into place.
So pull so it aligns when you go across, yeah. Whoa, careful, pull. Persuasion. Gentle persuasion. X-ray there? That's good.
To add stability, a strong metal rod is inserted across the fracture site and held in place with plates and screws.
X-ray there? If you imagine if your rod is through here, your bone can still move like that. So you've got to get screws across the bone through the nail to the other side of the bone. If you hit one end of it, we can change. Keep going. So that'll be a last screw. And then we'll need loads of wash. If he's okay, we'll carry on. If not, we'll just stop.
What happens when a car collides into an e-scooter rider? The impact of hitting the bumper throws the rider's body up in the air, which can cause their head to violently strike the windscreen. The force accelerates the rider to the speed of the car, propelling them forward, resulting in a third impact as they hit the ground. Injuries can be devastating: traumatic brain injuries, internal damage, and bone fractures.
Get the leg back. That's it.
The trauma and orthopedic consultant will now work on Stephen's broken pelvis, which was shattered on impact.
Let's get you in for an X-ray. So we rely on you to give us the images. Show me what you've got on there. That's not bad. I can drop down this.
As the procedure begins, the X-ray images reveal a far worse injury.
So you can see that the pubic ramus is in a completely crazy direction. So I'm trying to move this fragment like a joystick. X-ray? Yeah, that's it.
With the fragments aligned, the consultant inserts a wire across the fracture site.
X-ray? I think it's going to pull towards you a bit. Let's give it a try, otherwise we'll just open it up. That's still miles off where it needs to be. Oh. X-ray? If you can get it closed, that'd be good. We'll do one more try, see if you can get it. I just need to change the angle of this. That should work. X-ray there, please. So that is in the right place.
With the wire finally through, screws are drilled in to secure the pelvis.
So we're finished here.
The operation was a success, but Stephen still remains in a critical condition. He'll be transported to the critical care unit under specialist supervision.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
He's really struggling.
New patient incoming. Male, 37. Plunged 30 feet. Mountain bike jump.
We're in the woods.
Okay, what's exactly happened with him?
We're riding his mountain bike and he's fallen off on a jump.
And you say he's very difficult to wake up, he's not conscious at the moment?
No, he's still out.
Trauma patient coming, I believe in like 10-15 minutes. A gentleman who fell from 30 feet with a mountain bike. It's quite risky fall, quite big drop, so could be quite dangerous for him.
All right, on 3 guys, if everyone's ready. 1, 2, 3.
Nice and easy.
That's it, marvellous, fantastic. 37-year-old David, who's been completing a rally jump on his mountain bike, lost control of the bike, hit the ground, sustained multiple injuries. He's complaining of pain at the top of his neck.
Right.
He's also got pain to his left knee. He's had a gram of IV paracetamol. He's also had 5 milligrams of IV morphine.
Descending steep inclines and rough terrain demands precise control. A single misstep can result in catastrophic consequences. Like other extreme sports, mountain biking has a high injury rate, with 10% serious enough to need hospitalization. And on Britain's roads, more than 100 cyclists die every year.
I'm Claudio, nice to meet you, one of the nurses. We managed to cut off your stopper, right? Just to work on your chest.
David's future recovery remains uncertain, as the extent of his injuries are still unknown.
You still have a press on your tummy. Was that sore when I pressed on your tummy, or was that further down?
Neck.
Your neck.
Yeah.
Keep your neck really still.
It's sore in my neck.
Sore in your neck.
It's complete neck pain. It could be a cervical spine injury. The only way to know is just send it for CT.
Can you squeeze my hands? This one? Yeah, that's okay. Alright, take your röntgen scanner now. Ready, steady, forward.
If you injure your neck, it's extremely serious, especially on the spinal level, because all your nerves are connected through there. The worst case scenario might be paralyzed. So just waiting the final report.
Pauline, 64, was cut from her car's wreckage following a high-speed collision.
2 drivers were seriously injured in a head-on crash on the A6.
Big breaths. Reduced air entry on the left side.
Doctors feared injuries to her lungs.
Liver and spleen look okay. Kidneys look alright. There is small pneumothorax. Ribs-wise, it looks to me like 6 to 7 ribs on broken on one side.
With a pneumothorax.
With a pneumothorax.
So Pauline, I've got quite a number of rib fractures on the left-hand side, and there is a puncture of the lung called pneumothorax. But we're going to call in the specialist, the cardiothoracic doctors, to come and have a look at you, because I think this may well need you to stay in hospital.
What happens when a car crash causes a punctured lung? As the car grinds to a sudden halt, the seatbelt tightens, exerting pressure on the chest, which can cause the rib cage to break. The force of the crash drives the sharp broken rib to pierce the sac around the lung, causing air to collect in the chest wall, potentially having life-threatening consequences.
And that was why I was struggling to breathe.
I think you're struggling to breathe because that many rib fractures is going to hurt to breathe. We need to make sure your oxygen levels are okay and that you're able to take big, deep breaths. Yeah.
But I'm not going to die.
You're not going to die. But like I said, we need to wait until the cardiothoracic doctors. We say punctured lung, but it's a sac around the lung, so the lung itself is getting crushed by the air which is getting in, which shouldn't be there. The worst case scenario, that air could get bigger, and when the air in the chest is too big, it could end up crushing the lung. This is called a tension pneumothorax, and that could kill the patient.
Despite Pauline's survival, the trapped air outside her lung remains a risk. She will be moved to the cardiothoracic ward and closely monitored. Stephen, 26, was placed in a coma after being thrown from his e-scooter in a suspected hit and run. Medics fought to stabilise him.
Can you get us another unit of blood out of the fridge, please?
before fixing his broken femur and pelvis.
X-ray there?
A bit more, you think? Like a millimetre more?
Yeah, you want to go a bit more.
He remains critically ill,
Okay, we'll just plug you in.
under specialist supervision in the critical care unit.
Right, Steve. We're popping the noisy oxygen back on, okay?
Whilst in the ICU, Stephen's oxygen levels dangerously plummet, raising concerns about his lung function.
Steve, we're going to go to CT now, okay? You just relax.
In critical care, we're monitoring their vital signs. So if someone's unconscious, we're looking at how well their heart's doing. We're looking at how well they're managing to absorb oxygen and utilise that oxygen. Things can literally change in a heartbeat.
Okay, we're just going to slide you over onto the CT bed now. On your call?
Ready, steady, move.
Coming up, Stephen's results pose a tough decision.
Because he's had quite a bit of bleeding, there's the chance of making that a lot worse. So it's a very difficult decision to make.
David's injury takes an unexpected turn,
Where is the hurt? All round there.
and the gravity of Pauline's crash sets in.
You just see it like going. You see that car like, oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Great Britain, almost 346 collisions a day. One every 4 minutes. When accidents happen on the 20,000 miles of roads in the West Midlands, University Hospital Coventry steps up. Stephen, 26 years old, was thrown from his e-scooter in a suspected hit and run. Doctors battle to stabilise him.
Can you get us another unit of blood out of the fridge, please?
Before operating to fix his broken femur and pelvis.
Swap that across. X-ray? Yeah, that's good.
After his oxygen levels dangerously dropped, he was sent for a CT scan.
He's got some clots in his lungs, quite big ones, in multiple sites. That means that where you normally get the blood flowing into the lungs, picking up oxygen, carrying it around, there's less of that happening. And we normally deal with that by giving a blood thinning agent. The problem in Stephen's case is if we do that, because he's had quite a bit of bleeding, there's the chance of making that a lot worse. So it's a very difficult decision to make. All treatments have problems and side effects and complications, and so we look for those. And it's a balance of what's going to work versus what's going to cause harm.
Despite the danger it poses to his existing injuries, the doctors have no choice but to administer blood thinners. With his life still at risk, Stephen will remain in the critical care unit under specialist supervision. In the UK, e-scooter riders have a higher likelihood of sustaining serious injuries compared to cyclists, with a 60% versus 47% admission rate into critical care. Both groups are predominantly male, but e-scooter injured riders tend to be younger, with an average age of 35 compared to 50. David, 37, plunged 30 feet attempting a mountain bike jump, leaving him with potential life-changing injuries.
We're just waiting their final report.
Fellow mountain biker Dexter arrives from the scene.
How you doing, mate? Yeah, I've spoke to her. She knows what's going on. She's always worried about you. We've got Disneyland in a couple of weeks. I'll get you ready for them rides. How did you fall off? You got a bit out of shape in the air. It's made quite a mess of it. Was it riding that? when you're fit and healthy. Yeah, it's all quite scared. I concentrate on getting you sorted. Wait for these results and then we'll know what's going on. Yeah. Actually, I've known of him from around the village for, we're saying 10 years plus, 10, 15 years. I've been riding probably 10 of that. When I first started riding the big jumps, Div was there guiding me through. He's never normally the one laying in the bed. A couple of the lads fell off. I had one with a snapped leg. One tried to do a backflip and landed on his head. I fractured my wrist on the same jump that he fell off on. I got away quite lucky, but he's a bit older than I am, so he doesn't quite bounce up as high as I did. Yeah, so I'd tumble every now and then. Trouble is when you're 30 foot in the air, the tumble's quite dramatic. But we'll get there. We'll get him back. Get him back to where we should be.
Stephen suffered serious injuries after a car collided with his e-scooter in a suspected hit and run. Doctors battled to keep him alive.
All of this is not fitting with him having that low of blood pressure, is it? Something's not right, is it? Yeah. It doesn't fit.
Before he underwent surgery to repair his femur and pelvis.
X-ray there?
After being in a coma for 11 days, he's now regained consciousness.
Yeah, I remember waking up in hospital and then my dad explained to me I was in a crash. And I started trying to move around and I was realizing, wow, my body is fully messed up. Yeah, I never thought in my life I'd be in a coma. And the amount of injuries I had could have died. I don't remember anything from this year. My mind's completely blank, fully blank. I'm always out and about, going on journeys, especially out in the sun in the summer, riding around. It's pretty good, yeah. Hopefully I could get well again. I really find it difficult to move. Everything else is kind of paralyzed. That's the last thing I'd want for myself, to not be able to walk. Oh, that'd be my life gone.
Pauline, 64 years old, was rescued by emergency services after her car was struck at high speed in a head-on collision.
The A6 Rothwell-Desborough bypass is closed due to a crash near junction 3 of the A14.
Having suffered multiple broken ribs and a punctured lung, she was left struggling to breathe.
Any pain?
Yes.
Tender?
Yes.
Okay. There?
Yes.
Now receiving oxygen to aid her breathing, she is able to reflect.
I had a phone call from my sister asking me if I would give my stepdad a lift to the doctors. And I was driving up the A6 and I seen this car coming towards me, straight into the front of my car. So I really thought, this is it. And then I had my phone on the chair, so I rang and I said, I'm going to die. Thought I was going to die. And she's like, where are you? Where are you? And she come and found me. So I rang her and told her. Because that's how I felt. I was trapped, couldn't breathe. The pain was horrendous. And I wanted to say goodbye to her, basically. You know, you just see your life going. the pain, the breathing, everything. You see that car, like, oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
No one wakes up in the morning thinking that they're going to be in a road traffic accident. It's an extremely life-changing moment because it changes your future within seconds. So it is an emotional, stressful time for the patient.
Every day on UK roads, 5 people die in collisions. 84 individuals suffer serious injuries. With emergency services nationwide quick to respond, 94% of accidents are the result of human error, with over a third of crashes caused by drivers failing to look. Consequences are far-reaching: mental trauma and life-altering injuries. Stephen, victim of a suspected hit and run, was thrown from his e-scooter. He lost 10 units of blood and his femur and pelvis were smashed on impact. It's now down to the physio team to get him walking again.
How are we doing? So if we get you moving, then use that hand on that chair if you want. This is much better.
Could you lower the bed some more, please? Because
Yeah.
I can't bend this leg too much. I've had surgery on it. Thank you.
Can you pull yourself forward using this chair?
No.
No? Are we okay just to lift the bed up slightly so you've got an easier stand? 3, 2.
Oh, God.
Stand. You got it. Got it.
I can't.
You go.
Yeah, I need to put my leg down.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's it. Hands up. Try and stand tall. Tuck that bottom in. Try and put that hand up here.
I can't. No, don't. I want to fall, please.
When people think about road traffic collisions, they always think about the immediate injury and the immediate effect, but you don't always think about the psychological impact and the long-term effect of that.
Try not to use that hand.
Learning to walk again can be scary, and usually it's the mental barrier that they need to get over rather than the physical.
We've got you. You won't fall. We're going to have a quick turn. Oki's got you. Turn round. And then you can have a sit down. Feel the chair behind your legs. Kick that right leg forward. You've got the chairs behind you. What's that?
God.
Was that a fall or a nice controlled sit?
That was a mission.
Well,
Thank you, though.
David, father of 2, fell 30 feet from a mountain bike jump.
Ambulance service. Is the patient breathing?
He's really struggling.
Leaving him with potentially life-changing injuries.
We'll get there. We'll get him back. Get him back to where we should be.
His CT results have now been sent through.
Knock knock, hello. I have news to share with you.
Okay.
You've not broken anything.
Okay.
How are you feeling now in terms of aches and pains?
Well, I can't lift my head off somewhere.
You can't, okay? So we'll try and sit you up a little bit and then I'll have a look at you, okay? Try and lift your head up. Yeah, well done. Okay. So when you do that, where is the hurt? All around there, okay. Are you able to lift your right arm for us?
I'm trying.
Is it not moving? Where is the resistance? Is it in the shoulder?
Yeah, it's just like there's no power there.
Okay.
I've got numbness in my body on this right hand side.
So what you mean numbness?
Right, it's all pins in the heel tingly.
Okay. Can you feel me there?
No.
Okay. And when I do this, can you feel that?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. We'll get an X-ray for that.
While concerns over his neck have eased, David is not yet in the clear. With reduced movement in his arm, doctors fear he may have suffered significant nerve damage, which could hugely impact his quality of life.
And you'll be back at work one day.
I don't think you'll be back at work. I think your welding mask will be a bit uncomfortable on them scratches.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be able to hold the gun either, would you?
No. Cheers, thanks.
That's alright, mate. That's alright. I'll get you sorted. You've got to carry me home yet and shoulders.
Coming up, emergency services battle to save their lives.
Persuasion. Gentle persuasion. X-ray there? That's good.
Life-altering outcomes unfold.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a welder, so that's quite a blow.
20,000 miles of roads in the West Midlands. Last year, 5,853 casualties. University Hospital Coventry takes the lead. Stephen, thrown from his e-scooter in a suspected hit and run, nearly lost his life. Doctors battle to replace 10 units of blood.
Can you get us another unit of blood out of the fridge, please?
Before operating on his femur and pelvis.
Fine. Swap that across. Shows a lateral X-ray there. Yeah, that's good.
He's now recovering on the ward.
Hello, Stephen. Hi, afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, feeling a lot stronger. I can sit up now.
This leg's okay?
And I can only bend this knee so far.
Bend it?
Like, that's my, if I bend any more, I'm going to scream. Like,
so we need to work on that, and we need to improve your range of movement.
This one, I can't even lift it.
Push your knee down into the couch. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Lift your leg straight up, see if you can.
Nothing. This one I can't easily.
So you need to work on this one as well, because you have a fracture around the top of your pelvis there.
That affects my whole leg.
Yeah, it is weakened up a bit, but it'll get better.
Thanks so much.
Okay?
For helping me.
Okay, so take care.
Cheers.
We're waiting for Ben in Leicester for now, for you to rehab and then take it from there. Alright?
Yeah, I can't wait to get out of this room.
Okay.
Cheers.
See ya.
Thank you.
Cheers. His main focus now is rehabilitation, so getting him to be up and about and being able to confident to walk without any aids. Unfortunately, we are seeing many accidents because of e-scooters, which sort of range from simple injuries to complex injuries like Stephen. There's no training required to ride them, so anyone can just pick up a scooter and ride it the way they want, and with no protective gear. Whoever rides them needs to be cautious.
Stephen will be transferred closer to home, where his recovery will continue.
I really can't wait to go outside and get some fresh air and be at peace. Okay. I'm grateful to be able to walk slightly again. I hope it don't affect me in the long term. I think I'd give it some time from riding anything, to be honest with you. It's not worth it. I'm a bit scared to actually go on them now. They are very dangerous. If I knew that was going to happen, I would have even gone outside or anything, but we can't turn back time, unfortunately. Hope I can recover really well, but I'll have to wait and see for that. I'd love to see my friends and family again. I've been waiting to see them for a long time, and probably have some barbecues and stuff, and enjoy the peaceful air outdoors.
Father of two, David, was rushed to A&E after misjudging a mountain bike jump and falling 30 feet.
Is the patient breathing?
He's really struggling. I can't remember the crash at all. But from what I understand is that it's the two biggest jumps that I fell off on.
Amid concerns as to whether David will regain the use of his shoulder, an MRI scan is required to assess potential nerve damage.
I've rode bikes for as long as I can remember. It's just one of those things that progresses to seeing how fast you can go to making a jump with your friends and then seeing who can jump the highest. I've had broken bones in the past, but nothing as bad as what this is. Yeah, the consequences of what high. Well, that's what appeals us to the sport, unfortunately.
What happens when a mountain biker is thrown off their bike mid-air? Performing high jumps puts cyclists at risk. The most common injury involves a forward fall over the handlebars, which can result in direct trauma to the head, torso and upper extremities. David's MRI results have now been sent through.
Morning, David.
Morning, buddy.
Looked at your MRI scan. There is an injury to the C5 nerve root.
Okay.
Are you okay to sort of stand on the side of the bed for me?
Yeah.
Now, I will support your hand and I want you to try and push this way as much as you can. Try and do that for me. If I let go of the shoulder, you can't. Obviously you can't remember how you felt, but I would assume that you felt with your arm outstretched and your neck flexed in some position.
Okay.
And that particular nerve root is the one that gets injured more often compared to all the other ones.
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a welder, so yeah.
And right-handed?
Right-handed welder, yeah. So yeah, that's quite a blow.
The fact that you cannot move your shoulder makes the ability of welding quite challenging, I would say.
And what's the time span for recovery?
It's a matter of time and wait and see. All right.
Cheers, buddy.
Take care.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see how the recovery goes. The fact that I've still got the feeling in both arms and both legs and 95% of my body I'm very grateful for, and it would be selfish of me to say yes, I'd like to keep biking when all I seem to be doing at the moment is causing heartache and anguish for people. But there might be some kind of two-wheeled activities, but maybe not to the extreme. Bike rides with the kids maybe. Yeah, just ready to get back to normality really. Give the missus and the kids a cuddle. Yeah, I'm not going to take any of it for granted. Bless them.
In a few weeks, David will return for further tests, in the hope that he will regain full use of his arm. Pauline was rescued from the wreckage of her car following a high-speed collision, struggling to breathe.
But I'm not going to die.
She suffered multiple broken ribs and a punctured lung, and was kept in to be monitored. With the air outside her lung no longer posing a risk, she is finally going home.
I am really quite surprised how soon I'm going home. I know I've still got a long way to go to heal, but I'm getting there. I don't know how I'm actually going to feel, simply because at the minute I'm even a bit scared of going home in the car. But I won't get over it, I will. When you fall off a horse, you've got to get back on. So I'm not going to give up driving. I'm not going to let it defeat me. But I'm not ready for that. Apart from the fact I haven't got a car anymore. Having a car would actually help.